What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode
of The Reel.
With my co-host, Colt 45, live from the Colt 45 studios here in his bedroom tonight. And man, we got a show for y'all this week, don't we? You want to tell them what we're talking about?
Okefenokee Fishing.
Okefenokee Swamp Fishing with Josh Forsythe. And let me tell y'all something. Josh has fished the swamp his whole life. He knows it as good as anybody. Super great guy, great fisherman. He's going to talk us through what he does later in the show. You don't want to miss this. We got Miley coming up with the weather. We're going to talk.
Everybody's so excited for.
Everybody, I'm sure, is excited for. We're going to be talking some local fishing reports. But let's go ahead and kick this party off. We got the Tiger Creek Bait and Tackle Fish of the Week. This one right here is from my buddy Greg Johnson. Take a look at this bass, y'all.
Man, that was a good fish.
Yeah, great fish, Greg, and shout out to Tiger Creek Bait and Tackle. I'm going to put their information down in the comments in the description. You definitely want to check out what my buddy Chris has got going on over there. It's a tackle store being run through a Facebook page. Prices are at rock bottom. We love those reels we're getting from him. Tiger Creek Bait and Tackle. But anyway, let's bail off into this. Let's talk local fishing. You know, this past week, I'm out of town in Italy on an anniversary trip with your mama. And what'd you have going?
Baseball.
Well, I must not have left you a message to keep it from raining, because I get back and the river's just blown out. I mean, Satilla River's not happening this week, y'all. Might could do some damage in doing some pond fishing or lake fishing, but any of those that are fed by creeks and rivers.
Or saltwater.
So, hey, saltwater could be a good bet. Several different species may be biting. The whiting may be starting to move in too. So, you know, pretty much rule out every river. Satilla, Withlacoochee, Altamaha, they're all trash, but it is what it is. But that's why I'm excited to have Josh on here today, because the swamp is setting up pretty good. We've been getting them warmer days, got a nice warm spell ahead of us. So y'all are definitely, I can't stress that enough, stick around to hear what Josh has got to say. But with that in mind, we're going to kick to Miley with the weather. Miley, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Dad. I just got a message from the sun. It was enlightening.
All right, thank you, Miley. All jokes aside, guys, warmer days are ahead. You know, Easter tends to always be that final cool snap, you know, down in South Georgia. So it's Easter weekend, weather's warming up. So hopefully, you know, we're getting into some of that spring and soon to be summertime weather. Looking forward to that. But I'm about to get Josh on the line. While I do that, take a look at these clips of him catching fish in the Okefenokee Swamp, and we'll be right back.
Monster. Wow. A nice one. Really good one. There's one. Good gracious. Oh my gracious. What a warmouth. Oh my goodness, I ain't gonna get him in. There you go. Whew. Thick mama, thick mama. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the white on this bottom of the fins. Beautiful fish. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Man, that's what I'm talking about right there. Good thing about this, we got, my bad. We got a live well, so if we don't catch no more, just throw them back and they'll live. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness. What a warmouth. Oh, man. That is a nice one. Lord have mercy. That's what you want. Look at there.
All right, y'all, we are back. We got Josh on the phone this evening. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about y'all?
Good, good. Well, we know you. These people don't. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, Josh?
I'm from Homerville, Georgia.
Out in Homerville. We ain't going to hold that against him. So we ain't going to hold it against him. No, us Wasburians ain't going to hold it against him. But no, all jokes aside, we're glad to have you here. Glad to talk, you know, Okefenokee Swamp Fishing. Kind of bring y'all up to speed. I've knew Josh for a few years now. How many years, Josh? It's what, maybe three, four?
Yeah, 3 or 4, yeah.
It's starting to run together. So I actually did a GON story with Josh back in the day. And I'm telling y'all, he's not going to brag on himself, so I'm going to do it for him. He's as good on the swamp as anybody. Y'all are definitely going to want to hear what he's got to say, but we'll just dive off in this thing. Josh, what month of the year? Let me just ask that first, because right now we're coming into the start of April, near about. What's your favorite month for fishing the swamp?
It's got to be May. Right here, the 1st of May before it gets too hot. And, into April, 1st of May right here.
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and get you on today. That way this video's got time to get out there. People can see it, hear what you got to say. And, I know we run into you the other day. You did a lot better than we did down there. But sometimes, these warmer days early in the spring, you can actually get on a pretty decent bite. So
absolutely, yes. Yeah, warm weather is what they like, brother.
Right. And what now? So if we do have a little cool spell, do you feel like that'll kill the bite?
It will slow it down definitely. If no rain and it's just cold. Yeah. It's just according to how cold it gets, honestly, man. If it gets under 40, you might as well do something else, because that'll shut them off for sure. Yeah, I got you. That's good to know. When we're talking the Okefenokee Swamp, some of the folks listening from around here may be familiar, some may not. Basically, wouldn't you say the swamp's basically divided to the east and the west side? Yes. What's your favorite side? Well, if you're talking about views and what I grew up on, I've been fishing Fargo side for 10 years, but the last 2 years, I believe it's been 2 to 3 years, I started fishing the east side. And man, if you want to catch fish, the east side's probably especially early April and to May is the best bet. That's probably my favorite side. Yeah, that's me and Colt. I guess we a couple of east side boys, as they would say on the yeah. But no, I like the east side because, like I've told you before, me and Colt talked. The Swanee Canal makes it really easy to fish. It's not as intimidating. Exactly. So let's talk about the east side real quick. We'll dive off into his setup and all in a minute. And I want to throw this out here too. Hold on one second, Colt. I'm going to come right back to you. I'm stealing the show. I got the mic. But y'all need to check out, and I'm going to put this all at the bottom, and I'll probably mention it another time or two. But your YouTube channel, you just started up, Josh. It's what, Fishing with Forsythe? Yes. Okay, check his channel out. I'm going to tell y'all, he's just got it kicked off. It's going good. He's going to be uploading a lot of cool stuff this year. So be sure, go ahead right now, hit this pause button, subscribe to that channel, and come right back. Make sure you come back. But all jokes aside, what you got, Colt 45?
What kind of weather do you like to fish in? What's the best bite, I would say?
You want the 80 degrees, 75 to 80 day, and it don't need to get under 50, man, like at night. You want a consistent, like next week is going to be 80s to 85 a couple days, and then it's going to rain Wednesday, and it's going to drop to 70, for the weekend. But I really believe that even dropping out like that, it's going to be great bite because of the 80-degree weather for 3 or 4 days, Yeah,
I got you. So, let's just talk, we'll talk about the east side for a second. If you were going there this week, what you're putting in at the boat ramp right there at the boat basin, what's your thoughts? What are, what would you tell somebody that's watching this that's never been? What would you say to go catch warmouth?
Start immediately when you put in the water, immediately start fishing. Because where the boat basin is and the island, it's I guess it's not flooded out, and they're going to be more concentrated on all the structure and whatnot. Just fish around. You could catch you a mess of fish right there after you launch your boat, man. Right. You don't have to go far at all right now. Yeah, right. Well, and for those of y'all that aren't familiar, try to picture this. You can even pull it up on Google Earth, but basically right there at the ramp, you have a way that outcoming boat traffic can go to the Swanee Canal and incoming traffic can come back in. And, like an old man pointed out to me one time, that island there, that small strip of dirt, and I've told Colt this, I think me and Josh has
talked about. That island is sand, is what it's mainly, you know, comprised of. So them warmouth really like to bed right there. So, yeah, but we'll dive off into what Josh is using real quick, and we'll come back to the west side in a minute. But let me show y'all this. This right here, Colt's gonna show y'all the actual setup in a second. But it's a Mr. Crappie. Make sure I'm not bombing this here. Joker. And correct if anything sounds wrong, Josh. I know you can't see or limited technology, but a Mr. Crappie Joker, and this is the refrigerator white. And I'll let y'all get a close look at the actual tube, and then Colt will show y'all the setup. But, you know, and I'm gonna say this. Me and Josh has talked about this. I'll be the first to have said a jig is a jig for warmouth, but there's definitely something special about this thing, ain't there, Josh?
Absolutely.
Man.
Never seen a jig catch fish like that.
Never have. And to tell y'all the other day when me and Colt was down there, we run into Josh, and he was actually low on these. I had left mine at home, but he gave me some similar jigs, and I felt really good. I said, you know, this is close enough. They're going to bite it. Let me tell y'all, just daylight and dark. You've either got the Mr. Crappie Joker in refrigerator white, or you don't. Colt, you want to show the setup he's kind of using?
Okay, so like just the tube, like my dad just showed you, and then like a few. Inches up.
I kind of shortened that string so they could see, but basically you just got a cord. This is a slip cord. Now Josh usually uses the ones with the 2 pegs, but you got it. What's that, Josh? A 16th ounce head or 8th ounce?
Yeah, 16th.
Yeah, 16th ounce, just a plain little jig head. One thing I noticed Josh does that a lot of fishermen don't do, he don't get carried away with the hook. All right, that's good, Colt, man. He don't get carried away with the hook. It's not a super huge hook. It's just a standard tube jig hook, and I think that gives the bait more action. So, yeah. But we'll dip back to the west side for a second, because I want to make sure we hit on that, because I'm not as familiar with the west side. Josh, what would you say about going to the west side, let's say mid-April? Where should people go to catch fish?
Absolutely, the Swanee Seal, I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's got a long ditch. I mean, kind of like the canal in Folkestone, you know.
Right.
It's got a long ditch, and we always call it the ditches. I mean, ever since I've fished it. But it's just a narrow ditch, and, you know, it runs all the way to the spillway. And the spillway goes into the Swanee River. So that ditch and up to the bridge right there, you know, is awesome fishing. You can catch it off the bank, you know. Once it warms up, absolutely, man. It's good fishing. I'll
cut in there from the bank. Can you bank fish pretty good, or would you be better off with a kayak right there along that ditch?
Along the canal, you can fish off the bank. Yeah, you can. But they got a lot of gators, you know, in there. A lot of alligators, and you know, some of them, they'll kind of, you catch a fish, they're going to come up to you. So
and me and Colt, we sort of look like a snack, you know. We look like a prime snack on the bank.
Yes, sir. You got to watch them. I'm telling you, they're not trying to do anything but get that fish.
And we're a lot better at fishing than running track. So yeah, we may stick to the kayak. But all right, what about Lim Griffiths down there? I hear that name tossed around a lot, and I'm ashamed to say I haven't even fished out of Lim Griffiths fish camp. How is it around there?
Man, if you got to wait for the Swanee River level to get right, and right now it's flooded out, you know, but once it drops into the banks, that's some of the best fishing that you can have right there. And they got a beautiful campground. And it's a very popular place, and I think it's $8 a person to camp and tent camp. And I don't know, you know, about the RV stuff, but I'm telling you, the older man that runs it, he's like 90 something, and he is so awesome. He'll give you all the info. He'll give you tips. He'll show you. He's got a little museum, you know, with all his mounts in that he's mounted over the years, caught bass in there. It's awesome, man. You got to check it out for sure.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think one thing that's we're kind of diving off the warmouth topic, but yeah, the bass fishing is better on that side of the swamp. I actually seen you got a short up on your YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. They're coming back in, man. They're coming back in.
Yeah, that's awesome. What, Lim Griffiths, is there a way to do any kind of float through there, you know, like a float trip?
Yes. My favorite thing, I mean, to start, you go to the Swanee Canal, to the Swanee Seal, you go up to the spillway and put in on the riverside. They have, you know, at Spillway they have a riverside. and going right into the Swanee River. You could float there to Liam Griffiths, maybe 3 hours, I guess, maybe a 3-hour float. And I've done it before, and I'm telling you, I've caught 200 and 300 fish. Like, not exaggerating. Like, just beetle spin and having fun, dude. It's awesome fishing. At the right time, of course, you know.
Yeah, well, so over there, okay, you know, on the east side, we talked about that before, and like I say, some of the people watching this may have not ever been to the swamp. Don't fall asleep on me, Coach. Yes. Hang in there, son. Hang in there. Hang in there. Me and Josh ain't that boring, son. We're a lot cooler than you think we are. But on the east side, you know, that bite can be really temperamental, you know, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. If it's sunny, it's dead. Now, on the west side, will they bite a little later in the day?
Yeah, I believe they will, yeah. You know, I've never seen the east side. Like, that's just weird to me, you know, how it cuts off about 10 o'clock. You can go home, you know. But in Fargo, you know, the west side, I've caught them, you know, on up all during the day. But the thing is, you know, the best fishing for the west side is probably May on up to July, you know, when it warms up. Because it's deeper over there, they say. It's more deep than the east side. So I guess it takes longer to warm up.
Right. I think one thing, bouncing back to the jig, that me and Colt's got to learn that you seem to have down based on them clips that we showed earlier in this video. Man, you can really place that jig with a brim buster better than we can cast one with a rod and reel. Do you think the brim busters are a real key to getting it in there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So efficient. Like, I used to fish when I first started fishing. You know, over there I fished with a reeling rod, but once I went to the brim, I probably caught double the fish.
Yeah. What length pole is that? You're going to have to remind me. It's bad. I wrote the story on it now. I forgot. But what length pole is that?
It's a 10-foot. Okay. You want to keep 10 foot because it's, you know, the 13, 11s, 12s, they get too long and get aggravating. You know, 10 foot's the best for me. Yeah,
and I think really too, something, if y'all are going to get one, don't get too flimsy of a 10-foot pole. You know, I think that little bit stiffer action, and you can get those pretty cheap, the Black Widows and whatever kind.
Yes.
I think they work a little better at actually kind of flipping it. And I encourage y'all to watch back at those clips, and better than that, go to Josh's channel. I'm going to say it again, Fishing with Forsythe. Watch that full-length video. Watch how he's just laying that thing in there. It's once you get, and I done it with you that day, Josh. I remember I struggled for a few minutes, but once you get in that groove, man, you can lay it right next to that grass. So
you sure can, and that's where you want it to be at, right against the cover.
Yeah, man. I bet even somebody like Colt can learn how to cast that. So.
I imagine
anyway, we give him one of these jigs. He's gonna come down there and come back with some sort of a marlin or tuna or something like that. I don't know how he does it, but he does. But
yes, he does.
Yeah, every time. So with the jig setup, that's something Colt was asking me before the show. You know, what's your thoughts on the actual movement of it? Like, when you pitch it out, what are you thinking in your mind? Are you moving it a lot? Or are you letting it sit, or what?
Man, if I'm pitching it to where I know I feel like there's a fish, I'm pitching it, I'll let it sit. Once it hits, I'll let it sit for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and I'll bump it.
Yeah. Let
it sit for another 2 seconons, bump it, and after that I'm moving it. Because I mean that warmouth is an aggressive fish. Like, I mean, it's gonna bite what gets in front of it. And if you throw in there and he don't bite it, you might as well move, because he's not going to bite or he's not there, one or the other.
Right. I hope you're writing some of this down, son, because I'm going to be forgot it. So you got to make sure we get all this. We got to learn to catch them like him. I cannot stress this enough, y'all. And I know some of y'all listening are like, well, I've got this jig or that jig. I'm going to hold these up again, though. And Josh isn't getting paid to tell y'all this, but maybe they should pay him. Maybe they should pay him. So, but if y'all subscribe to his YouTube channel, they may pay him eventually. But the Mr. Crappy Joker, these things were like, what? I want to say they're $2.50 at Walmart or something like that. I mean, really cheap, really durable baits too. How many fish do you usually catch off of one, Josh?
Man, probably 5, 10, even more sometimes.
Yeah, that's what impressed me compared to a normal tube. A lot tougher, so a lot more durable.
Can I tell you something real fast? I'll give you a little tip.
Yeah.
When you get the jig head, pop your little super glue and hold that jig on there. And you probably can catch 20 fish off of it. Man.
I got you. So I'm sliding the tube down right now. So basically, you just put a drop or two right up at the head there, and then just slide it up on it.
Exactly.
Okay,
yes,
that's pretty good.
good.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the other thing, you know, like, and I know a lot of people, yourself included, me, you know, crickets, crawfish, all that stuff's good, but I feel like the jig can at times outfish live bait simply because you can keep it on the hook. You're not, you know.
Yes.
It ain't flinging all.
Right. You know, like, for instance, you catch one on your jig, you're already pitched back in there versus me catching one on my cricket. Now I'm digging around, trying to, you know.
Hopping everywhere.
Yeah, then you know, hook the bushes. There goes your cricket. So, yeah, it's one thing after another. But do you ever fish, and I'm going to bounce back, we're talking areas. Have you ever fished the kingfisher side of the swamp?
Man, I fished it maybe one or two times, but I didn't have luck there. I heard you had to run on out a little ways, you know, getting to the lakes, because the day I went, I didn't catch anything, and I come out actually and loaded up in about an hour and went to Folston and caught, you know, 30. So I mean, I guess I just wouldn't hold my mouth right, or I didn't go far enough in.
That's right.
You know?
Well, the last time I went over there, I think Colt was little. He may have just been a few years old then, so it's never been good to me either. It seems like that's what I hear from most people. But and I will say that, and I know you're serious about that. The other day we run into you down there too. This is one thing, like talking warmouth, talking how temperamental they are. You got to be down there before the sun comes up.
Yes.
If at all possible. I know Josh, you know, I was down there, we were standing in the dark, we hadn't been out in the truck for a minute, here comes Josh. So he's, you know, when the sun comes up, or when that gate opens, you know, you can call the area and find out. You got to be there, you got to be ready to go, because when it's on, it's on, and when it's off, it's off. So
yes, I agree.
But anyway, but y'all make sure, I'm about to wrap things up with Josh here. Y'all be sure and subscribe to his channel, Fishing with Forsythe. We're gonna have Josh on some more this summer. He does a lot of other fishing too. But subscribe to that channel, because you're gonna learn a lot more watching him do this, watching his family. He's just like us. Fishes with his kids, does all kind of cool stuff, rivers, creeks, whatever. He actually, can't tell y'all where, but he actually dropped me some pins earlier where we could go catch some fish in a day or two. That's top secret, and we promise we're going to put your fish back, Josh. We promise. So,
I appreciate that.
Scout's honor. But thank y'all so much. If y'all hadn't already, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. Be sure and like this video. Click on that notifications icon, and me and Colt, man,
we'll see you next time out of water.
We'll see y'all next time out on the water or in the Code 45 studios.